Hello, my dear students, and a very warm welcome back. I know your exams are just knocking on the door, and a lot of you look at this drainage chapter and think, oh my God, so many rivers, so many names. Am I right? Well, don't you worry. We're going to tackle this together.
But look, I'm here for you, and trust me, we're going to make this chapter so simple that you'll get it completely in just the next few minutes. Seriously, by the time we're done here, you're going to feel way more confident. So let's do this.
Okay, let's dive right in. Now, before we start our big journey with India's amazing rivers, we just need to get a handle on three basic ideas. Think of it like a quick warm-up, you know? It's actually really easy. First up, what exactly is drainage? I know, the word might sound a bit complicated, but it's not at all. Drainage is simply the river system of an area. Just think about your house for a second. You've got all the small water pipes from the kitchen and the bathroom, and they all join one big main pipe, right? Well, in the same way, all the little streams and rivers join together to form a main river. That whole thing, that's a drainage system. Simple as that. Okay, next up is the water divide. This is another one that's super easy to understand. Just look at the cartoon of the sloping roof on the slide. See? When it rains, the water on one side flows in one direction, and the water on the other side flows in a completely different direction. That peak in the middle? That's the divide. So in geography, any high area, like a mountain or a hill, that separates two river systems is called a water divide. See? Told you it was easy? And finally, let's take a quick look at a river's life cycle. It starts off with so much force up in the mountains, just carving out these deep valleys. But then, as it gets to the flatter plains, it kind of slows down and starts to twist and turn, creating these beautiful S-shaped bends we call meanders. And then, right before it meets the sea, it drops all the fine soil, the silt that it's been carrying. This forms a triangular piece of really fertile land called a delta. So from the mountains all the way to the sea, what a journey. All right, now for the main event. The absolute best way to remember all of India's rivers is to think of them as two teams. On one side, we have Team Himalaya, whose players are all born in the mighty, snowy mountains. And on the other side, we have Team Peninsular, with players from the southern plateau. Let's get to know them. Now listen up, everyone. This slide is super important. This is a guaranteed 5-mark question in your exam. What's the difference between Himalayan and Peninsular rivers? Let's break it down real quick. Himalayan rivers are perennial. That means they have water all year round. Why? Because they get water from both melting snow and rainfall. But Peninsular rivers are seasonal. They only depend on rainfall. This is the biggest difference, okay? Also, look at their journey. Himalayan rivers are long and they carve out these really deep valleys, while peninsular rivers have shorter, shallower paths. You should definitely take a screenshot of this for your notes. Okay, first up is Team Himalaya. It's time to meet the star players. We've got 3 major river systems here, 3 big names that you absolutely have to remember. So, player number 1 is the mighty Indus. It's one of the longest rivers in the whole world. Its journey kicks off in Tibet near the beautiful Lake Mansarovar. From there, it enters India through Ladakh, where it's joined by its important friends. We call them tributaries, like the Zaskar, the Sutlej, and the Beas. What an epic journey! Next up, our holy river, the Ganga. Now, here's a cool fact. The Ganga doesn't actually start as the Ganga. Its main source, its headwater, is called the Bhagirathi, and it comes from the Gangotri Glacier. Then it meets another river, the Alaknanda, at this absolutely beautiful place called Devaprayag. And it's from this point on that it's known as the Ganga. The whole river is over 2,500 kilometers long. And as it gets close to the end of its long journey, the Ganga joins forces with another giant river, the Brahmaputra. Together, these two create the largest delta in the entire world. You know it, the Sundarban Delta. And this huge, fertile area is also the famous home of the majestic Royal Bengal tiger. How cool is that? And that brings us to our 3rd star player, the Brahmaputra. This river is a bit of a globetrotter with many names. In Tibet, where it starts, people call it Sangpo. It flows alongside the Himalayas for a long time, and then, boom, it takes this dramatic, sharp U-turn to enter India. And because it flows through places in India that get a ton of rain, it carries a huge amount of water and silt. Okay, quiz time. This is a classic exam question, a real favorite. Because of all that silt it carries, the Brahmaputra forms the world's largest riverine island. Do you know what it's called? It's Majuli. Please, my dear students, remember this name. It pops up in exams all the time. Majuli. Got it? Fantastic. We're done with Team Himalaya. So now let's meet Team Peninsular. Now, this team is kind of divided into two smaller groups. You've got the rivers that flow west into the Arabian Sea, and then the rivers that flow east into the Bay of Bengal. Let's go check them out. Okay, now, here's a really crucial point. While most of the peninsular rivers flow east, there are only two major ones that flow west, into the Arabian Sea. And they are the Narmada and the Tapi. The most important thing for you to remember about them is that they both flow through something called a rift valley, which is basically a narrow valley created between two big mountain blocks. A really famous spot created by the Narmada is the beautiful marble rocks near Jabalpur. Now, for the superstars that flow east into the Bay of Bengal, there are four you really need to know. First, the mighty Godavari. It's the largest peninsular river, so long that it's lovingly called the Dakshin Ganga. Then we have the Mahanadi and the Krishna, both huge rivers that help millions of farmers with agriculture. And finally, the Kaveri, which creates the second biggest waterfall in India, the absolutely beautiful Shavasamudram Falls. Just remembering one key fact for each is perfect for your exam. So we have learned about all these different rivers. But so what? Why does it even matter? Why should we care? Well, it's simple. Rivers and lakes are basically the lifeline of our country, both for our economy and for our environment. Just think about it for a second. You have beautiful lakes like Dal Lake in Kashmir that attract lakhs and lakhs of tourists every single year. Our rivers provide the water that our farms need for irrigation. We use them for transport, for navigation. And of course, we build massive dams on them to generate the hydroelectricity that powers our homes and our cities. They really are the lifeline of our nation.
Time for another quick pop quiz, straight from your textbook. Do you happen to know which is India's largest freshwater lake? The answer is Wular Lake, and it's located in Jammu and Kashmir. Another super important fact to lock away in your memory.
So we've clearly established just how important our rivers are. But these very lifelines, well, they're in danger now. So before we do a final revision, we have to talk about the very serious problem of river pollution. You see, the growing demand for water from our cities and our factories is reducing the amount of water in our rivers. And on top of that, so much untreated sewage and industrial chemicals are being dumped directly into them. This is destroying the river's natural ability to clean itself, and it's making the water toxic. It's a huge, huge problem that we all need to solve together. Okay, time for a super fast, rapid-fire revision. Are you ready? Let's go. India's two river teams are Team Himalayan, which are perennial, and Team Peninsular, which are seasonal. The three big Himalayan stars are Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. The main peninsular stars are Narmada, Tapi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, and Mahanadi. Which one is the largest peninsular river? The Godavari, also known as Dakshin Ganga. And India's largest freshwater lake is Wular Lake. And remember, our rivers are absolutely vital, but they are facing a huge threat from pollution. Got all that? I'm sure you do. And that's it. See, I told you it was easy. You have just revised the entire drainage chapter. You are now fully prepared. I am so proud of you. Now go and rock those exams. All the very best, my dear students. Hey, if this explainer helped you out, please do me a favor and hit that like button, share it with any of your friends who might be struggling with this chapter, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. But most importantly, tell me in the comments which chapter is giving you trouble, and I'll make sure to simplify that one for you next. Bye for now, and take care.